Chapter 4, Lily. Mine and Riley's situation has been an unconventional one since Emerson was born. I do not think many couples file a divorce paper at the same time they say their newborn's birthday certificate. As much as I was disappointed in Riley's for being the thing that forced me to have to make the decision to end our marriage. I did not want to prevent him from bonding with our daughter. I cooperate with him as much as I can since his schedule is a hectic. I sometimes even take her on his work to visit him on his lunch break. He's also had a key to my place since before Emerson was born. I only gave it to him because I live alone and was afraid I would go into labor and he'll need access to the apartment. But he never gave the key back after her birth. Even thought well been meaning to ask him for it. He sometimes uses it on the rare occasion he has a late surgery and has extra time to spend with Amy in the morning after I head to work. That's why I haven't asked for it back. But lately he's been using the key to bring Amy home. He texted me just before I closed the shop earlier and told me Amy was tired. So he was taking her to my place to put her to bed. The frequency he's been using the key lately in making me wonder if Amy is the only one he is trying to spend more with him, time with him. My front door is unlocked when I finally make it to my apartment. Riley is in the kitchen. He glances up at me when he hears the front door shut. I grab dinner, he says, holding up a bag from my favorite Thai place. You haven't eaten, have you? I don't like this. He's been making himself more and more comfortable here, but I am emotionally drained from the day already, so I shake my head and decide to confront the issue at the different time. I haven't, thank you. I set my purse on the table and passed the kitchen, heading for Amy's room. I just led her down. He wants. I pause right outside her door and press my ear to it. It's quiet, so I back away from the door and head into the kitchen without waking her. I feel awful about my short response to Atlas earlier, but this interaction with Riley is confirming all my concern. How am I supposed to start something with someone new when my ex still bring me dinner and has a key to my apartment? I need to set firm boundaries with Riley before I can even begin to entertain this idea of Atlas. Riley chooses a bottle of red wine from my tabletop wine rack. Mind if I open this? I shrug as I spoon pad thigh into my plate. Go ahead, but I do not want any. Riley puts the bottle back and opts for a glass of tea. I grab some water out of the fridge and we both take a seat at the table. How was the how was the she today? I asked him. A little cranky, but I had a lot of errands to run. I think she just got tired of going in all out of the car seat. She was better when we went over to Alessa's. When you next day off? I ask him, not sure, I'll let you know. He reaches forward and uses some to wipe something off my cheek. I flinch a little, but he doesn't notice, or maybe he pretends not to. I am not sure if he realizes the reaction I have anytime his hand comes near me. He is a negative one, knowing Riley. He probably think I flinched because I felt a spark. After Amy was born, there were some moments here and there when I would feel a spark between us, held do or say something sweet, or held be holding Amy while he sang to her, and I would feel the familiar desire from his bubbling up inside of me, but I somehow found it within me to pull myself out of the moment every time. It only takes one bad memory to immediately dull any fleeting feeling I have in his presence. It's been a long time, bumpy roads, but those feelings are finally not, not existent. I attribute that to the list I wrote of all the reason why I choose to divorce him. Sometimes after he leaves, I go to my bedroom and read it to reiterate the arrangement is the best one for all of us. Well, maybe not the extent of arrangement I would like my key returned to me. I'm about to take another bite of noodles when I hear a muffled ping come from my purse across the table. I drop my fork and quickly reach for my phone before Riley does. Not that he would read the text, but the last thing I want right now hints for him to even try to be polite. My handing me my phone. He might see that the text is from Atlas and I am not prepared from the storm that would bring. The text isn't from Atlas thought it's from my mother. She's standing pics of Amy she took earlier this week. I set the phone down and pick up my fork, but Riley is staring at me. It was my mother. I say, I don't know why I even say that. I do not owe him an explanation, but I do not like the way he is staring at me. Who were you hoping it would be? You practically lunged across the table for your phone. No one I take a drink, he's still staring. I have no idea how well Riley can read me, but it took like no now I am lying. He spins his fork in the noodles and look down at his plate and with a hardened jaw. Are you seeing someone? There's an edge to his voice now. Not that it's any of your business, but now, no. Not saying it is my business, just having a casual conversation. I don't respond to that because it's a lie. And any recent divorced husband asking his ex-wife if she is seeing someone he is making anything but casual conversation. I don't think we need to have a more serious conversation at some point about dating, he says, before either of us bring other people around. Emerson maybe lay some ground rules. I think we need a lay ground rules for a lot more than just that. His eyes narrow like the what your access to my apartment. I swallow. I like my key back. Riley stares stoically before he responds. Then he wipes his mouth and stay. I can't put my daughter to bed. That's not what I am saying at all. You know, my schedule is crazy, Lily. I hardly get to see her as it is. I am not saying I want you to see her any less. I just want my key back. I value my privacy. Riley's expression is tight. He is upset with me. I knew he would be, but he is making his into more than it is. It has nothing to do with how much I want him to see Amy. I just don't want him having easy access to my apartment. I move out of and divorce him for a reason. It's not going to be a huge change, but it's one that needs to happen or will be stuck in the unhealthy routine forever. It'll just start keeping the overnight. Then he said with such conviction while eyeing me for a reaction. I know he can feel his discomfort. I'm suddenly drowning in. I keep my voice calm. I not think I'm ready for that. Riley drops his fork on his plate with the third. Maybe we need to modify the custody arrangement. Those words infuriate me, but I know somehow prevent my rage from boiling over. I stand and pick up my plate. Really, Riley asks for the key to my apartment back, and you threaten me with court. We agree to the arrangement, but he is acting like that was for my benefit rather than it's. I know I could have taken him to court for sole custody after everything he put me through. Hell, I never ever even had him arrested. He should be grateful. I'll be seeing as generously as I have. When I get to kitchen, I sat down at my plate and grip the edges of my counter, allowing my bed head to drop between my shoulder. Calm down, Lily. He's just reacting. I hear Riley say regretfully, and then he follow me into the kitchen. He leans against the counter while I rinse my plate. Can you at least give me a timeline? His voice is lower when he speaks. When will I get overnight with her? I press my hip against the counter and face him. When she can talk. Why then? I hate that he even needs me to say this out loud so she can tell me if something happened really when the full meaning of that I'll just said sinks in the cheers on his bottom lip with a small nod. I can see the frustration in the veins that rise in his neck. He pulls his key out of the pocket and removes my apartment key. He tosses it on the counter and walks away. When he grabs his jacket and disappears out of the front door, I feel that familiar twinge of guilt creeping into my chest. The guilt is always followed by doubt, like am I being too hard on him? And what if he really has changed? I know the answer to these questions, but sometimes it feels good to read the reminder. I go to the room and pull the list out of my jewelry box. First, he slapped you because you laugh. Second, he pushed you down a flight of stairs. Third, he beat you. Fourth, he is tried to force himself on you. Fifth, you had to get stitches because of him. Sixth, your husband physically hurt you more than once. It would have happened again and again. Seventh, you did this for your daughter. I run my finger over the tattoo on my shoulder, feeling the small scars he left there with his teeth. If Riley did these things to me at the highest point of our relationship, what would he be capable of at the lowest? I fold the list and put it back in the jewelry box for the next time I might need a reminder.